We have broken a League Two record here at Rugby Town. When you hear those words, you think it must be a good thing. No, we've set the record for the lowest attendance in the history of the competition. 1,171 fans. To put that in context, you can see the previous records from prior years. Yeah, despite all the really good football we've played over recent years, the support base isn't really growing. Saying all of that, to be fair, the social media followers are slowly but surely climbing up. I'm hoping over time, eventually, fans will start to come to our game. Of course, we are still playing at Butlin Road, and apparently we're still looking for that site for a new stadium. This has literally been going on for 4 years. I have no idea what's happening at this point. And well, speaking of new stadiums, today's away day is to a stadium that's fairly new. I mean, it's probably one of the newest grounds in English football. It is AFC Wimbledon's ground, the Cherry Red Record Stadium. 9,000-seater, so new in fact that the stadium picture pack I use just uses concept art. Have just noticed their manager. Give me a moment. Okay, that's better. I'm calm now. I'm ready to run the intro. Let's get into things. 2 big games coming your way today. Yes, folks, how is it going? Welcome back to Park to Prem. Today is episode number 39. I am feeling slightly under the weather, but we are not going to let that deter us from 2 big games coming your way. The first is a first versus second affair at the top of League 2 as we take on an AFC Wimbledon side trailing us by 3 points. And then given how well we're doing in the league, a bit more of a test in game number 2. It's the FA Cup first round, and we are taking on a formidable side, maybe. I say formidable. It's Wigan Athletic. Wigan and formidable. That is a combo of words that is not used often. But with them currently down in 17th in League 1, it gives us a good little opportunity to maybe test ourselves against a team who are kind of in mid-table of the division I imagine we're going to be playing in next year. Now, since last episode, we have played a whole host of games, a month and a half played, loads of wins, 1 defeat. That defeat was in the EFL Trophy Papa John's rubbish competition. It was against Bournemouth's under-21s. I hate the fact we take on under-21s teams in a competition. It feels very Mickey Mouse. Despite that result, we are currently still in second ahead of that Bournemouth side that beat us. But yeah, I don't care about this competition. In the thing I do care about, though, League form, we have been very, very good. A sea of wins across the board here. Great to see Soonsup Bell back on the score sheet. He scored 1 goal in his first, I think, 5 league games of the season. He scored 8 goals in 2 games at one point during this run of fixtures. It takes his tally for the season up to 14 goals in 11. Of course, when you score 8 goals in 2 games, that's always going to inflate the stats slightly. But it goes without saying, and I suppose you can see it from the form in his last 20 games with all these green bars, he's playing well at the moment. And I suppose that does extend to the entire team. We knew going up into League 2 this year, we were one of the favourites for promotion with some very, very strong players. We are very much living up to that billing. AFC Wimbledon, who of course are challenging right up there with us, currently 3rd favourites for promotion. They are a good team. So I did mention Soonsup Bell's goals. He got 4 goals against Oldham. He got 4 goals against Swindon Town as well. Some really emphatic results there. Elsewhere in the month of September, a 3-0 win against Accrington Stanley, another 3-0 result against Cambridge United. At the time, Cambridge United were going really, really strong in the league. Off the back of that result, their form has been absolutely atrocious. In fact, before that result, their results were not so good. It's not got any better for them. As for the most recent month of football, it opened up with that game against Bournemouth where 102 fans showed up. Not even the fans care about that competition, but from there, some good results here. 4-0 against Mansfield, 3-2 against Doncaster, 3-1 against York City, and now we have an away game against AFC Wimbledon, a Sutton United game we're not going to worry about in the episode. Sorry, Sutton fans. And then, like I mentioned, FA Cup first round Wigan, right towards the end of October. So looking at the league table, we have got 2 of the top 3 goal scorers in the league. Goldsmith has 11 goals to his name, Soonsup Bell with 14. These 2 guys have been absolutely sensational. It does raise the question, what are we doing when Guerrero joins the club? And the honest answer is, I don't know. But in some not so good Jaime Guerrero news, and you might have noticed, I am wearing a Spain shirt today to, get ready for when he arrives. He's got injured. He's out for 3 weeks of sprained ankle ligaments. He had no issues of injuries before I signed him. Suddenly I'm wondering, should I be concerned? I mean, I'm not going to panic just yet. I do need him to stop getting injured quite so much. Now, of course, in terms of transfers, one signing has been confirmed since last episode. Jaeger is here. Technically, he is able to play for the first team because he falls under the age at which you have to be registered to play in the league. So although the registration window's closed because he's under the age of 20, he could just play. He's not good enough to play, though. He's just chilling with the under-21s. One signing I am potentially going to do is Carlos Vasquez. We are currently awaiting a work permit appeal for this guy. 18 years old. Yes, it's another Spanish player. He's very, very good. We've agreed a fee of £115,000 for him. I don't have a free ESC slot. I have a sneaking suspicion he's not going to get a work permit. But at 18 years old, even if the move was to fall through this time around, and if he's still available at the end of the year, I'll probably go in for him again. Because I don't know if you can tell just looking at this guy. He's blooming good. I think in terms of position, centre-back feels logical to me. I know he can play centre-mid and left mid for whatever reason. His polygon says centre-back. No one can convince me otherwise. But yes, whether or not Carlos joins us is a bit of a question mark. How Jaime is going to fit into the team, I don't really know yet. But you know what? Those are not problems for the here and now. The problem for the here and now is beating AFC Wimbledon and, well, hoping we can get a good result. It's away from home. It's been a while since the last away day, but we're going to a brand spanking new stadium that I'm not that familiar with in real life. Some surprises incoming, maybe. Let's head to Wimbledon together, shall we? So for the away day today, we are heading to Wimbledon. Not for tennis, of course, but for, well, football. I mean, it's Football Manager we're playing. Okay, we are in southwest London. Where is the football pitch? Satellite view, help me out. I feel like logically a football stadium should maybe stand out like a sore thumb. Football stadium, that's just houses, isn't it? That's not a football stadium. Football stadium? No, that is centre court at Wimbledon. I am lost. Okay, look, I take it all back. We needed to head further east across the railway line to the Cherry Red Record Stadium, which I can assure you is a finished football stadium. I know from the satellite view, it looks like it's just a glorified car park. No, there is a football stadium built here now. This footage is just out of date. Okay, here is some footage from 2022. This is one of the roads that leads to the stadium. There is just a single turnstile here. This just, I mean, it just looks weird, doesn't it? It looks like they forgot that there was going to be a road connect to the stadium here. So they just stuck in one door and went, that'll do. I feel like some signage wouldn't go amiss. Okay, that was Batsford Way to the north. To the south, I noticed there was some street view options here. And, well, here is the football stadium. I think that's not the football stadium there, is it? This is the football stadium here. Wait, is this building the football stadium as well? I mean, this bit looks cool, doesn't it? This is jazzy. Do they call it a mega store? I can't tell from here. I think this is the football stadium. I think the football stadium is connected to like a load of block of flats. I kind of like it. Although I feel like if you lived in these flats, you kind of want a window looking out the back, don't you? So you can watch the games for free. You got a little across the road with some car parkings, a Wix and a garage as well. So, you know, you got your things covered. And if you need any tiling for your roof, there's tiling options. So the bit where we were looking at before was like this building here, where there is like a club shop and stuff, and then these are the apartments here. So it is connected, I think, directly to the football stadium. There are dots on the pitch. Presumably these are going to show the finished stadium. Maybe that's a bold assumption. We'll go to this dot here to kick things off. And this is Wimbledon's old stadium. This is the, well, it's not even their old stadium. It's just the ground that used to exist here. Either way, this doesn't exist anymore, but it is quite cute. In fact, it says here, Greyhound Derby. If you want to watch greyhound racing, this was the place to come back in the day. Not anymore. Does make you wonder, are these dots going to be more recent or older than that? Are they even going to work when I select them? The answer is concerningly, they're not working. This one here works. Okay, we have a view inside the stadium. For some reason, I thought it was going to be bigger. I imagine it's a stadium that has some room for expansion. I mean, in terms of League 2/League 1 grounds, it's literally like 10 rows of seats. It's not a modern footballing coliseum, but I mean, it's quirky. I kind of like the yellow and blue just mix and match seat pattern going on. It's always the risk when you go to a new footballing stadium that, you know, there's not going to be sufficient footage. I thought there'd be more than what we've seen so far, if I'm being honest. I am disappointed. I mean, sadly, the Google Earth footage is just the exact same as the stuff we've already seen. It actually looks like that block of flats that we were looking at before were built before the stadium. I mean, given the fact that this is the footage I've got, do I judge this bit of the kind of building site as the car park? Doesn't really feel fair. I will level with you. In terms of away days, I have no idea really how to score this one. I know Wimbledon, you know, people have a soft spot for them given their club's history, the injustice that they suffered, and it's really cool that they are back at a stadium that they call their own in Wimbledon. In spite of that, as an away day we get to look at, I mean, there is one stand. There's one stat. What am I meant to judge off this? I've come to the decision, because I don't want to offend the world of football, I'm just not going to grade their stadium. I hope that's okay, but at least we know a little bit more about what it looks like. Kind of. Anyway, this is a rather big game for us. I don't want to get kind of too carried away too soon, but we are currently 5 points clear of Stevenage in 4th. A win here could put us in a great spot. A defeat here, suddenly we get pulled back into maybe a little bit of a fight for the promotion spots. We've been on a really good run of form, scoring loads of goals. Defensively, we've been a bit hit and miss, but then again, that is the Rugby Town way. I feel like after the enormity of losing against Bromley last episode, what I need today is a win against Wimbledon to cheer me up. Now, in terms of team news, Brodie Spencer is injured for the next 8 days. So Timmy is going to go back and play as our defensive midfielder, and then into the midfield comes Isaac Pritchard to play at right centre mid, although I am going to play him as a Mazzala. As much as I want to play him as a box-to-box midfielder, the bloke cannot defend. The rest of the team, though, is pretty much at full strength. Andreni's form has been a little bit hit and miss. He sits at a 7.03 rating in the league, which isn't disastrous by any means, but his overall kind of form hasn't been flawless. And Lissa, when we have called upon him, has played quite well at centre-back. So, I don't know, if Andreni plays poorly, maybe Lissa comes back into the team, but at least for now, I'm going to show faith in the San Maries International. And in fact, speaking of international football, we have missed a few players for league games, including Andreni when he was off on international duty. We don't have enough players in our team to request postponement of fixtures when players get called up, but we've got a couple of players playing for the Welsh national youth team, a few senior internationals as well. Has caused us a little bit of issue. It's not impacted us in terms of actual score lines. At the same time, just something to be aware of. Yeah, occasionally my players are just being stolen away on international duty, and it is annoying. Okay, this is a first versus second game. Ricky D has the ball on the near side. The dream start, I suppose, would be to score here. Edwards, plenty of space for Garrett at left back. He plays it in. Jude tries to get to the ball. It was blocked away for a corner. And for a moment, I thought there was going to be a penalty given. You know when you see stuff happen in Football Manager and you feel like, I've seen that before. I was waiting for the ref to blow for the penalty. He's not given it. We might have a chance here from the corner, although the header does go off target. Cartwright bringing the ball forward for AFC Wimbledon on the far side. It's with a man whose name I'm not going to try and say, but I think he's probably Greek. He might be a bit of a freak. And now, well, we're going to get the ball away, are we? Cartwright still has it. They've hit the woodwork. We're on the back foot here. Not enjoying this. Of course, as the away team, maybe we do come into this game as slight underdogs, although when you look at the league table, we are right up there. What I would say is when it comes to games we've played, I don't feel like we've played all the teams right up there at the top of the division yet. We've definitely had more winnable games in the recent run of games. And, you know, whilst we are top, it is still only October. It's a long old footballing season. Of course, a win in this kind of game would be a good statement to make. And there could be a chance here. Because Ricky D, well, he had loads of time and space. And then he decided to shoot like that. And I'll be honest, I don't know what came over him. They should never have gone for that. 10 minutes left of this first half. So far, I want to say so good. It's 0-0. I suppose a draw isn't the most disastrous results ever, but at the moment we had just those single shots on target. Maybe that's going to change here. A penalty's been given. Sorry, what's happened? Football Manager, are we okay? It's not shown the highlight. It just said a penalty's been given. I don't know what's happened, but we have a penalty. Soonsup Bell steps up. He scores. Goal up. I have no idea what just happened. It's like there was a quick free kick taken that resulted in a penalty, but because it was a quick free kick, the game didn't come back quick enough. The TV director was sleeping. It doesn't matter. We take the lead with one of the last kicks of the half. It's not been an emphatic first half display, but when you look at the overall stats, maybe when it comes to shots, at least, we do deserve to be slightly ahead. Going to tell the players I'm delighted with the performance so far. Goldsmith hasn't exactly been superb. Over the last few years, I've always felt like we have three strikers to choose from who can do the business. Norman Hamilton, when I've called on him as of late, hasn't really done the business. So even though Goldsmith's not playing so good, I'm not desperate to bring on Hamilton just yet. I mean, there's still plenty of time left in this match for things to change up. And in fact, AFC Wimbledon have made some changes at halftime, and the lighting has changed in the match engine. Is it just because it got very smoggy recently? It's a very industrial day in London, I guess, here as we take on AFC Wimbledon. Sometimes the Football Manager lighting does look weird, doesn't it, in the new update for this year's game. It looks weird this half. I don't know what's happened. Okay, and Goma's not had the best of games here. I'm actually going to take him off and bring in Shipston and then move Pritchard into the centre of midfield. I talked about the desire to maybe take off Goldsmith. I'm going to follow up on that now and bring in Hamilton. Do still have a couple more subs here. Ricky D's not the best game at right back. You know what? Lissa, on you come, my friend. Not necessarily the best wing back in the world, but Ricky D's let himself down today. Lissa's played well as of late. We'll bring him in. Okay, Williams is now over the ball for them, whipping it towards the near post, and Henry Cartwright just has a free header. Where is our defence? I'm not sure he's meant to be stood at the near post, but whoever it is was not there. Yeah, I'll be honest, that is just bizarre, isn't it? I don't even know what to say there. You can see here Wimbledon playing with such a high line at the back. Makes it very difficult for us to get in behind, although there might be an opportunity here. Lissa, fresh off the bench, plays it in, and two of the subs link up. It's 2-1. It's Norman Hamilton. I'm sorry I ever doubted him. Talked about the fact that Lissa, you know, he could come on and maybe do something for us. He only has 4 crossing. On this occasion, he just kind of drills the ball across the box. And fortunately for us, Hamilton is there to put one on target, something he didn't manage to do last episode. Okay, well, we've got the lead, but let's not get too carried away just yet, because AFC Wimbledon on the attack, they've already scored one, although they've given the ball away here to Jude, who has a little bit of time and space to get forward. There are players surging forward in the middle as well. Can Jude hold it up for the cavalry? Hamilton is there. And his effort was blocked, actually, in the end, wide of the post. We have an XG of 3.19. We played really well in this game. We've dominated the game, but it's not done yet. There is 2 minutes left here. Garrett on the near side. If we were to get the 3rd goal for ourselves in this game, you'd say it's game over with the few minutes left. But you wouldn't bet against AFC Wimbledon just catching us on the break. Bell is through, and I'll tell you what, Judeson's at Bell. He finds the back of the net. It's 3-1. Pressure is lowered. Job done as far as I'm concerned. I will say as well today, if you do feel like I'm struggling a bit with the commentary, I'm very bunged up. I keep having to pause the recordings to blow my nose, but I just get bunged up again instantly. At least the players are cheering me up today. After last episode, we needed a performance like this. I mean, we've made it 3-1. I thought that was going to be all said and done with only a couple minutes left. There could be time for more. Pritchard, bring the ball forward through the middle, was set up from Jude. His shot is tipped over the bar. That could have been a 4th. 7 minutes of added time at the end of this game are going to come and go. At AFC Wimbledon, with just that one real opportunity, it came from a corner. Besides that, we really limited them from a creative point of view. You can see from the passing map here, whilst they did have the ball in the wider areas, our compact, narrow shape really meant they struggled to get the ball into meaningful, dangerous areas through the middle. As for ourselves, I mean, considering this is probably the 2nd best team in the league, they're right up there. Is as good a performance as we could have hoped for. Very, very happy with that. Gonna hope that with a rotated team potentially playing against Sutton, we can dust ourselves off and be ready for another test, this time against Wigan. Looking at the league table, Crewe and Stevenage now climb up into the automatic promotion spots. We are in a very, very good spot with some fantastic goal difference, but that said, there's still a long time left in this season. 32 games to go. We're only 6 points clear. It is still early days. That doesn't mean, however, that result didn't feel like a meaningful performance from us. I am very, very happy with that. Jude with a further 2 goals to add to his collection. His recent form has just been superb. Now, like I mentioned, our next game is against Sutton. It's in a few days' time. I'm going to rest up the players, play a B team for that one, but instead of worrying about that game, why not do Wigan Athletic? The FA Cup has been a very, very kind competition to us over the years. Of course, with us now being in the Football League, we join in the first round. Our draw in this round is a League One team. Will be just a little bit of a test for us, maybe a precursor to what to expect going into the new division next year, assuming, of course, we get promoted. I shouldn't get too carried away just yet, but at least right now, I'm already mentally preparing for League One. I've had my 2nd ever job offer during this entire Park to Prem. Shrewsbury have offered me a job. You might remember Shrewsbury because they had the TYCOON owner. Yeah, that didn't last very long. The TYCOON owner, Kwang Min Choi, came in, well, you can see here, February 2025. 3 years later, he's withdrawn all his funding to the club. He is still the current chairman, and to be fair, they have improved some of the facilities. That said, they are struggling down in League One, so it's not even worth going for this interview, is it? Oh, and by the way, if you were wondering about the game against Sutton, we managed to win 2-0 in this one. Wasn't as straightforward as it should have been. They had a sending off after 14 minutes. It took a long time for us to actually get a goal in Goma from the penalty spot. We did also score in the 100th minute. The headline news of this game, few injuries. Yeah, Batumba out for a little while. A little bit annoying, that. I suppose the good news is, though, because I rotated the team and played kind of a B team for that game, we are looking very good when it comes to fitness for the game later today, game number 2 against Wigan. You might remember earlier I mentioned the fact that we've not had too many difficult games in the league. You can see we've got Cheltenham, who are bottom to end this month of October, but if I quickly just flick through and you stay in the top right here at the games we've got coming up in the league, Scunthorpe in 6th, Walsall in 11th, Tranmere in 9th, Crewe in 2nd, Torquay in 12th, Notts County to end the month of November. Then it does get a little bit easier before a few tricky games here and there. But yeah, not many teams outside of the top half to take on in the next month or so. So it is going to get a little bit more difficult, our next run of games. That said, I don't think any are quite as difficult as this game now. Wigan Athletic, League One club, would love to get a result here and keep going in the FA Cup. We are at home, but it's not going to be easy. Now, like I already mentioned, I did rotate the team for the game that I just played. So as a result of that, player fitness across the board is very, very good. Unfortunately, we have still got Brodie Spencer coming back from injury. I have been told he could play in this game. Originally, I didn't think he was going to be fit for this game, but now that there's a chance... Oh, you know what? I am going to do it. I'm going to bring him back into the team to play as our defensive midfielder. I do love Tim. Tim is a very, very good player for us. That said, he's not a great defensive midfielder. What it does mean is that for the first time in a hot minute, we are at full strength for this game today, which, with all the injuries and little bits we've had, it's been a while since we were last in this kind of shape. Not expecting this game to be an easy one, but given our recent form, given where we are in League 2 and how good our squad currently is, I'd like to think we can take the game to Wigan. You know, they are a team in the bottom half of League 1. They've been a little bit hit and miss when it comes to their recent form, playing a really, really defensive shape with loads of players behind the ball. Could be a frustrating game, this one. Okay, well, so far, it's not been a Rugby Town classic. 15 minutes into this game, there's not been a shot so far, but that could change here as well. Goldsmith battling away for the ball. Boniface plays it inside. Hamilton back to Neeson for Wigan Athletic as they look to play the ball out from the back. Waldron, their right wing back. A little bit of space ahead for him to move into. He's going to be on the overlap. One man to aim for in the middle. Andreni, decent header, not right away from danger. Boniface, cross blocked. Keeley collects. And yeah, if you were hoping that we were going to get off to a rip-roaring start in this game and just pull ahead, it's not really played out like that so far. Wigan, with so many players behind the ball, it might take a moment of magic to break them down here. I suppose if there's one plus point we have in our current team, we've got some exceptional passes of the ball. Speaking of which, what a ball by Ngoma, what a finish by Jude. The two-star men link up and give us the lead. I feel like whenever you're playing against a team with 2 defensive mids and 3 centre-backs, any kind of play through the middle is going to be tricky. But Ngoma, fantastic pass. Jude timed his run to perfection, keeping our hand on it, but it wasn't enough. We have got quite a few games going on at the moment between the Papa John's Trophy, the FA Cup games, and the league games. The last thing I want is this game going to a replay. We really want to try and win this game on the night. A draw here would, of course, mean it goes to a replay. If that does happen, that will probably be in tomorrow's video. So, for my sake and your sake, let's hope it doesn't go for a replay here as Ricky D volleys it into the middle. It was a kung fu kick. And, I mean, if Goldsmith scored that header, it would have been a weird goal. Don't know if it would have been a good goal. A weird goal. Probably the best way to describe it. The cross unorthodox. 5 minutes left of this first half. 55% of the ball. Wigan yet to have a shot. We've been in complete control of this game, and yet the scoreline doesn't really reflect that just yet. It's 1-0 at the break. I'm going to tell the players I'm far from happy just to try and get them fired up. Going to tell the players I've got faith in them. Again, Goldsmith not having the best of games in this game here. Has been a little bit slow in our last couple of games. And you know what? Hamilton played well previously. Has been complaining about a lack of football as of late. Trained really well, though, midweek. I'm going to give him the nod. I did also notice here, Ricky D suffering from a thigh injury. Lissa came on in the last live comp and came in at right back and did well. I'm going to bring him on again here simply because Ricky D is one of those players I really don't want to get a serious injury, and there's no point in aggravating it in a game like this one. Wigan Athletic looking to start this second half better than they ended the first. Stones with the ball for them, a little bit isolated all on his lonesome. They're playing this lone striker with 2 wide attacking mids, the 2 defensive mids as well, and ultimately it is just leaving them a little bit isolated through the middle. Their build-up play in the wide areas has been nice, and of course with our narrow system there is going to be that chance to maybe get balls into the box and have some big switches of play. But so far, it's not really troubled us. That could change very quickly, or maybe the tide is just going to keep going the way it's already been going. Hamilton gives it to Jude. And it was an ambitious finish, but the ambition very nearly paid off. It ripples the side netting just wide. We're coming up to an hour played in this game. I do have one sub that I could make. To be honest, I feel like I might just want to save that one sub. I've become so accustomed to, in the League Cup, in the league, having 5 subs to use. In the FA Cup, we don't quite have that liberty. So having made 2 changes, we'll hold on to our last one for now, as Keeley is called into a rare bit of action. Wigan with 2 shots now in this game. They've done it slightly better in this second half. That said, we have been in control. We probably deserve to be a second goal ahead, but, well, it's deserving it is one thing. You've got to earn it and actually get the goal. Could we make something happen here? Not with Ngoma giving away the ball softly like that. Hamilton, though, lays it inside to Timmy. And Ngoma dispossessed, ball launched forward. I mean, Wigan, their game plan, I don't really know what it is. I feel like they're really struggling to create anything going forward. They've got so many players back. We've already found one breakthrough, though. I feel like we're overdue a second. Could it happen here? Yes, it absolutely could. It's Norman Hamilton with another. This is the kind of game that had the potential, if we couldn't find the breakthroughs, to turn it into a frustrating game with so many players back for Wigan, but we've broken them down on 2 occasions now. I don't want to say it prematurely, but with 23 minutes left, based on what we've seen thus far in this game, I'm not feeling threatened. Might live to regret that, but at least right now, I'm calm, I'm fine, it's all good, he says. I mean, a third goal really would make sure of the result, you'd imagine. Garrett in the wide area at left-back. Of course, we've been converting him to play left-back. He's looking more and more like the natural left-back. It was a good ball in there. The header, not so good. I suppose if Wigan got 1 goal back now, suddenly you'd think, oh, maybe. Do we need to worry at 2-1? That said, it'd be one of those miracle results, wouldn't it, if they were to score 2 in this last 5 minutes. They might have a chance here, though. Cover. Shoots. Keeley, what a save. That was a heart-in-mouth moment. Okay, less than 2 minutes left of this game. We are going to cruise through to the FA Cup second round. Keeley in goal for us. Somehow managed to get man of the match despite only making 2 saves. How he's done that, no idea. Answers on a postcard. So that is a really, really good result for us. Not entirely sure what that's going to mean in terms of what we come back for next episode. I suppose it will largely depend on who do we get in the FA Cup second round. Whilst I could continue to find out, you know what, we'll save it as a suspenseful surprise for next episode. In terms of what we're going to be doing next episode, I'll level with you. It's all a little bit of a mystery, but that FA Cup game scheduled for the end of next month. Today's episode is a little bit of a shorter one. I am really feeling under the weather. Lemsick has somewhat come to the rescue again. I'm going to hope that it doesn't develop into something too bad and that I can continue to record videos, but just a little bit of a heads up. I am sort of prides myself on my consistency. If there isn't an episode in the next day or 2, it's because I'm sick and I'm in bed feeling sorry for myself. Let's hope it doesn't come to that. Some really good little results today. Great to see Jude back in goal-scoring form. 19 goals for the season. If there were question marks as to can he do it in League 2, I think he's answered them. Leave a like on this video if you enjoyed. I'll catch you guys next time for more Park to Prem action. Until next time, it is me, Jack, and I'll talk to you guys in a bit. I'm out.